Talk to me a little bit about Road Dogg being back. That was the big news that everybody's been talking about. Jeff Jarrett is out, our great close personal friend from Ric Flair's last match, and now Road Dogg seemingly is back in the driver's seat for some live events or what have you. And I know he was one of Hunter's right-hand guys, or so that was the narrative online for a long time before he left the company, I think in January of this year. I wasn't surprised at all that Road Dogg wound up going back. What was your experience like in the little bit of time you guys worked together when he was a quote unquote office guy?
No, I like him a lot. I used to go to him all the time and ask him about Ashley.
Yeah.
No, I think, well, first of all, I've been friends with the Armstrongs since I've known Road Dogg probably before he was born. Does that make sense? I wrestled Bob all the time. I wrestled Brad. I mean, Brad, his brother Brad was so damn good. He was Ricky Steamboat.
Yeah.
I mean, he was that good a worker, and it just never got the push, never got the place. But in terms of being a wrestler, I can show you. I used to send Road Dogg like films of me and Brad. Brad could work his ass off. I didn't work with Road Dogg that much. But I mean, I just saw those guys at the last match. I like Road Dogg, and there again, that it wouldn't be anything against Jeff. It's just that because I heard Jeff was doing a phenomenal job. Yeah. It's just that we just talked about surrounding yourself with people that you're extremely comfortable with, and I'm just assuming it was not made because of any decision on anything that Jeff did wrong. Hunter and Road Dogg have been friends for years. So, and that's not uncommon in business.
No, it's not.
But I like Road Dogg, and I can remember in Portland, Maine, or Portland, Oregon, at Piper's funeral, I said, "The hell's going on with Ashley?" I can't remember what the situation was, and he's always been supportive and always given me a straight answer, to my knowledge. I mean, I like him a lot. Of course, I like the whole Armstrong family.
Well, we liked Monday Night Raw last night as we're recording this. We saw Edge in his hometown of Toronto. Looked like a sold-out crowd. Trish was back. Johnny Gargano.
Trish was glorious. Did you happen to notice that Trish with Rolex and diamond ring wearing too?
Well,
I text her. Huh?
It's going around these days.
Yeah, she looks great, didn't she? Just Lord.
Unbelievable. Timeless.
And Bailey is on fire. Bailey, it's got that roll down. I texted her last night. I said, keep on growing. And look at Dolph, man. Dolph's still kicking ass, stealing the show, right?
Some things will never change.
What a match those guys had. Unreal, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah, good for him. And I mean, Finn Balor's a hell of a kid. I got to know him a lot at Ashley's wedding. He really is a hell of a guy and a very talented guy.
Let's talk about Monday Night Raw in the very beginning. You know, it makes its debut at the very beginning in 1993. It's going to replace the old primetime wrestling format. And it's in the Observer all of a sudden that, hey, Ric Flair might be moving. Quote, "The status of Ric Flair in the WWF has been the subject of a lot of speculation over the past week, including one semi-erroneous report that he's already jumped from the WWF to WCW. His contract doesn't expire until September, but there have apparently been discussions between Flair and McMahon about getting a release before that time. To the best of my knowledge, as of press time, Flair has not received a release and is booked on the WWF shows as far out as the bookings have been completed, which is through early March and in a top spot. He will be moved down from headline status probably by the end of January or mid-February to second from the top on the tour in singles, either against Mr. Perfect or in tags with Razor or against Perfect and Tatanka, which might mean a serious pay cut, which likely means him doing frequent jobs since Tatanka and Doink are going to get mega pushes the next few months. Presumably, and this all depends on many factors like the size of the gates or emergency situations that happen every day in wrestling that might force him back on top, one would think the odds are he would be able to earn more money in WCW by the nature of the contract they would no doubt offer him. He would surely be able to earn more over the long run with a WCW contract. So we know that's, of course, where this is going to be. And it doesn't take too long before we started to hear some other speculation. This is also from the Observer. Sportscaster Harold Johnson of WSOC TV in Charlotte, who's best known as a friend of Flair's and was the sportscaster who talked about wrestling fans boycotting WCW in Charlotte in 91 because of the treatment that Flair received when he was fired, reported on January 6th that Flair agreed to a multi-year deal that will, quote, pay him considerably more than what he was making when he left WCW. That would be hard to believe, though, since Flair's old contract was in the $750 per year range, although figures of $375 to $400 have been bandied about, which would have been probably considerably more than he earned in the WWF. But as you said, it wound up being $500,000 for 3 years. It's a big deal. And you worked that Royal Rumble match, which just a year before, you carried the match. You started number 1 here against Bob Backlund. The old school fans had to love that.